Enneagram, like Instagram, but Enneagram. Finding your type is a spiritual journey. And if that sounds too much work for you, then you're probably not ready for it, which is totally fine. It's not something that I recommend using a test exclusively for. It's not even something that I think you can do in a 5-minute conversation. Oftentimes, it's a journey that takes months, even years, but it's rewarding, incredibly helpful, and totally worth it. So my recommendation is take a test if you like. Do not take those results as your final answer. Take those results as a starting point to do further exploration by reading books, listening to podcasts, having conversations with Enneagram experts, hiring a coach or a teacher to walk you through different exploratory questions that you may have answers for in the moment, or you may take those questions and sit with them for a couple of weeks before you're able to find the answers to those questions. The whole journey, though, is part of the process of working with the Enneagram and allowing it to transform your life. So none of it is wasted time, but it may take some time to figure out your type. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with you, boo. Just take some time. Enneagram information is designed to wake us up to habitual patterns of behavior that we have on autopilot, so we're not aware that we're doing them. Only when you see the patterns can you confront them, evaluate them, decide if they're serving you, decide if you want to keep doing them or not. So seeing and waking up and having awareness around your habitual behavior, around the types of actions that served you when you were a child, and so they became unconscious actions, is a whole process of waking up. So what you do with the information of the Enneagram is you are awake. You're aware, you're self-aware. And then as you continue to use this information, coupled with a spiritual director or a therapist, or doing a lot of your own self-observation, centering prayer, meditation, you take the information and then you have to get to work with it, which is what we're all about here at the Enneagram Workshop. So you got to work with it, but it wakes you up. And you really can't even begin to do work until you see the work that you need to do. It's like if you've got mold inside of your walls, until you start ripping that drywall out and you actually see what the problem is, you're not going to do anything about it. You're just going to stay sick. That's a perfect example of what's happening with our personalities. So Enneagram knowledge wakes you up. If you want some specific ways that once you've woken up, you can take the Enneagram and apply it to your life, you've got to go check out my training, 10 days, 10 ways that the Enneagram helps you make your life better. It's 10 videos taking different topics like parenting, relationships, leadership, health and fitness routine, like so many areas, vital areas of our lives, areas that we have to spend multiple hours, days, weeks, months, years of our lives doing, like parenting or being in a relationship or eating food, exercising, things that we have to do all the time. The Enneagram wakes you up to your tendencies in those areas and then helps you to decide if that's healthy or if maybe we can try and bring a little balance because we've gotten off balance in some of these areas. So check out that training for the long answer to this question, but that's the short one. You only have one type, one core type. You can't be a 3 and a 7. You can't be a 9 and a 4. You have one core type. Finding that type might take you some time. See the answer to my previous question, but yeah, there's no such thing as someone being two types. Here's why. Your type is basically your position in the landscape of the world. Where you stand in the world determines what you see and how you see the world. Have you ever heard that story of the three blind men experiencing an elephant? And one of them is feeling the tail and says it's a rope. And another one is feeling the trunk and says it's a hose. And another one is feeling the leg and says it's a tree stump. Where you stand, your type, determines how you see the world. And we can only ever be in one position at a time. You cannot be a blind man feeling all three parts of the elephant. So you can't have two types. You have one type, one way of seeing the world, and that's it. And then if you want to go into all the rest, check out some other trainings that I have about where your type moves and the different energies that your type can take on in different seasons of your life. So that adds flavor to your core type, but there's only one core type. You're born with it, and that's how it works. The Enneagram is dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Just kidding. The Enneagram is only dangerous if you are using it without empathy. If you are using it to either judge others, to ridicule others, to make fun of others because of their type, or if you use it to keep making excuses for your own poor behavior. Oh, well, I can't do that because I'm an Enneagram 7 and I don't do stuff like that. That is a misuse of the Enneagram. It's the whole purpose of the Enneagram is it says you're actually more than your personality. You are not confined to just your personality, and we want to actually outgrow it at some point. And we actually want to make more space for other people and the way that they are in the world rather than less space, which leads to ridicule, judgment, thinking you're better than others because you're not their type. So yeah, the Enneagram is super dangerous if you use it without compassion, without empathy, and without understanding what it's actually meant to do, which is to bring freedom rather than bondage.